Hey guys, we're going to go ahead and go over the LPR. I know last week I went over the HPR, essentially the same thing, a little bit smaller. Let's go ahead and dive right in. The tools we'll need, of course, I'm going to have two dye tools. One is going to be a pick, one is going to be to get the shims and stuff, the stack. Next, we're going to go ahead and need a needle nose pliers, Allen set. You can either use the dye tool or a 1/4 Allen, 3/16 Allen, 1/16 Allen, and either a 0.05 inch or 1.27 millimeter Allen. So let's get this front grip off to access the LPR. We're going to take the 1/16 and go ahead and unscrew that front grip. Now that we have the service nut available, we're going to take the 1/4 Allen and go ahead and remove the LPR. Now the LPR is built just a little bit different from the HPR, that being that the shim stack in your HPR is going to most likely going to stay inside of the housing, while your LPR, the shim stack will come with the whole assembly body, and the shim stack is going to be in here. So it's not likely that the piston and the shim stacks will stay in the body because it is part of this unit here. Now to get everything apart, we're going to go ahead and take that 0.05 or 1.27 and start removing the 3 screws just like your HPR on the outside. Now again, these screws do not need to come out all the way for that service nut to come out. They just need to come out just enough to where the service nut will fall out. Now we're going to go ahead and get your Lpr adjustment screw out, and we're going to take the 3/16 Allen and go ahead and remove that. Now that we have that out, we can go ahead and take that Allen and just gently push on the piston inside. Now we can see that there is still one more shim that's in there. So we're going to go ahead and remove that. We're going to take a pick and just carefully press on it and get it out. Let's go ahead and take a look at your piston and shim stack. It's a little bit different from the HPR because there are two larger shims that are on the end that are pancaked together, just like a hi-hat on a drum set. And then the rest are paired up, and they're significantly smaller. So that's the size of the two larger, and that's the size of the smaller ones. So the smaller stacks stay together and go on the piston first, and then the big two shims go last and at the end of the shim stack. Same with the HPR seat reg. The LPR seat reg can be flipped as well. You might need a smaller Allen. The access hole on the bottom here is a little bit smaller. So if you do have a indent here, I do recommend going ahead and flipping it. If you already done so, I recommend getting a complete new, of course, a new seat reg. It takes the same seat reg as your HPR. These outer O-rings here is the number 5. The body O-rings, there's 3. 013 yellow. If your LPR starts leaking, it's almost exactly the same as your HPR, where if it's leaking out of this hole, there's O-rings. I went over that in that video. There's a hole on the left side of the gun here that is essentially the same exact thing for your LPR. When your LPR is in there, there's 3 O-rings that will cause it to leak. So those 3 O-rings is this last yellow 013 on the piston itself, number 1 012, and then same as the HPR, we have a smaller O-ring in here that goes around the piston itself. It is going to be in number 6 007 O-ring. So let me go ahead and get that out and show you exactly how to get that back in. It's a little bit different from the LPR or HPR. getting it out is essentially the same thing. So we're going to take the pick, and from the inside, or where the piston goes in, we're just going to go ahead and grab that O-ring and then push down. So now that we have the replacement O-ring here, we're going to be pinching it, and instead of coming from the side, because how this is kind of indented, we're going to have to pinch it from the top. And it could be tricky because it could just pinch out and shoot out. So just be very gentle, just like that, on pinching it and getting it set. And almost do the same exact thing. I think we're going to have to use the 3/16 for this one. Of getting it in there. Now that I had it kind of in there, I had to come in from the bottom as well. This O-ring's a little bit thicker and much smaller. And once you get it wrapped around, take that small Allen and just kind of rotate around. And then basically do the same thing and just push that piston back in. But let's go ahead and lube it up. So again, for it leaking, if your LPR leaks, if it's leaking straight out of this hole, it's either going to be this last yellow O-ring here, which is the number 5/013, the outer piston O-ring 012, or the inner that wraps around the piston itself is going to be number 6007. Let's go ahead and put the LPR back together. There you have it. Your LPR is now completely rebuilt, and that service hole is there for a reason. So don't plug that. It's there to let you know that, hey, there's a problem. And then those 3 O-rings, go ahead and check them out if it starts leaking out of there. If it's leaking out straight from the front, check your HPR or LPR seat reg, and those other 2 yellow number 5/013 O-rings. Not likely going to happen, but they do pass some threads. So it is potential that they might scuff up.